Alright guys, we have the Case Files event live over here on the NA version of the game alongside Koyen Light's banner, which is also up if you want to go summon for that. As we expected, this should have gone up on January 10th, and look at that, event period January 10th to the 30th. Yeah, that's right, we're kind of getting a taste of a 3-week long event minus 1 day. So for some people, this is going to be a nice fun event. You're going to go get Gray, get all this free-to-play stuff, or if you're someone who's already done this, you can look forward to the raid. But there is a lot to go over with this event. There's a whole bunch of free-to-play stuff, you know, CE, command codes, there's the actual free-to-play servant, we have extra quests, we have missions, so like, comment, all that good jazz. But we're gonna go ahead and just start diving right into this event guide, starting off with the fact that kind of uniquely, this event opens up with everything. As you can see right here, sections 1 through 10 is already going to be open at the very beginning of the event, and then the section 10, the epilogue, the raid quest, this stuff is going to go live, you know, in a couple of days after they've given you some time to go through some of the main quests, read the story if you're into that sort of thing. So just be aware that there's not, I guess, a whole lot of waiting. You can actually kind of start getting into the meat and potatoes for this event, unlike other events where it's like, okay, first you start off with like the bronze nodes and then you get the silver nodes. They open up quite a bit when the event actually starts, but then we're going to start getting into the epilogue and the raid, so make sure that you are staying up to date so that you can hop into that raid. But as we'll talk about in a second, the raid is quite beefy. I don't think it's going to just, you know, sneak up on you and then just get game ended at the very end. It's a little bit beefier than Koyan Sky, as we'll get to in just a second. But an important thing is that we're going to be getting some rank up quests. For Reigns, this is adding the NP gain buff to her NP over here, which she already had a very strong kit, especially because they boosted one of her skills. So now she's kind of just like a more defensive waiver that still gives you some offensive power. You get the attack buff, but the NP was already really strong enough as is. I mean, it was great for giving you a little bit of extra damage and making your team a little bit more tanky, and also making sure that Reigns kind of kept herself cleansed. But now getting the NP gain buff to the entire party is very strong. And then Gray over here is getting Pierce Invincibility, which is very nice. Adding this onto her kit is going to make her a much more solid option as a free-to-play player. So just know, if you go for Reigns, she's going to be a little bit stronger, and if you go for Gray, she's going to be a very solid free-to-play option for you. And then speaking of them, you don't see it here, but in the original event, after a couple of days, Waiver also went on raid up over here. So if you are still missing out on Waiver, maybe you didn't pick him up as your free-to-play servant, as you probably should have, you will have a chance to go ahead and summon for him here. But realistically, we're going to get another 5-star ticket. I would just scoop him up with that if you don't have him already. And if you want to go for Reigns, I'm going to be releasing a video on her tomorrow, and then, you know, also on Hephaestion. They're both very strong units. If you want to go after them, I think they are both very, very strong. The only problem with Reigns is that, you know, you could use her as, say, Chen Gong bullets, but outside of CQ content, you're not really going to get a chance to break her out, because you're probably just, again, going to be doing farming, double Scotty, double Castoria, double Koyenskaya. But if you need that extra plug suit option and you want a more solid defensive support to bring, Reigns is going to be your girl. And then Hephaestion is, I'm going to use the term that I always use, is just a generically good servant. Not that she's, you know, insanely crazy or like mid or, you know, Walmart brand cereal, nothing like that. She's just really good. Like, she has a huge battery, she has solid card buffs, she has the taunt, which is kind of nice. She's just kind of good. And then as a pretender, she's an inverse alter ego, but she also has power mod against casters, so she actually gets to hit 4 different classes, because normally your pretenders wouldn't get to hit casters. They only get to hit the knight class enemies, you know, your sabers, your archers, your lancers, but now you also get that bonus hit on casters. And she's just very nice. You know, I used her recently in one of the Grail fronts, and she was just nice to have. You know, someone with a really big battery that can just charge things. She's solid. You could bring her to CQs. You could use her as a farmer if you want to use her in some of the weird like 90 plus or plus plus nodes that we're going to be getting later on in the year. Just very solid coverage, although for that you might want to go for NP2 or 3. But hey, if you're going for Hephaestion and you end up walking away with Reigns, you're going to be absolutely solid. Now, we do have, you know, a couple of CEs on the banner, but none of these are really that crazy. I mean, if you get them, enjoy the drop bonus, I suppose. But then over here, we have some of the free quests. Now, normally I don't talk too much about the other free quests because they're pretty normal, but this one, you do want to take into account that the free-to-play CE is the drop, like, appearance bonus CE. You're going to want to get that for doing your missions and then also getting more rewards, because remember, very similarly to, say, the Koyenskaya raid, you know, you could think about it like that, defeating the enemies is what gives you the drop. So you really want to try to max out on your, you know, enemy appearances, right? So you can actually max that out and get as many drops as possible. But then even when you look at the 90 plus mission, this isn't all that hard. I know you see berserkers and it's like, oh man, they don't give me any NP refund back, but look at this, 6 guys on the field. I don't care if they're berserkers, most of your dudes are going to be able to loop this one. They should be a-okay. You know, if you've got a decent, say, arts or quick unit, they can loop, you know, at least 50% of their battery back. They can fire their battery here. And then if you're a quick, you might want to plug suit in someone to give them that extra NP, or if they're arts, they can fire their battery after, you know, not really getting anything back from this, or you can just plug suit in for someone else, or you can be the Buster Giga Chat and just obliterate everybody here. Me personally, I'm looking forward to using Morgan on this because this is free eats, although berserker on berserker action never feels all that nice. But hey, make sure you're maxed out on your drop bonus for this. But I believe I have it pulled up over here. Yeah, you do actually max out. Keep in mind it's only 30%, so like you don't need to have a 120% drop rate bonus. You just want to kind of get in that 100%, you know, sweet spot to guarantee that they're going to arrive, but also still be able to bring other CEs. Speaking of this, I guess since we have it pulled up, I mean, aside from the art being absolutely adorable before you know, Olga got thrown into the furnace by Lev, you know, it's just a cute CE, but there's not a whole lot that's really crazy going on here. I mean, you could use it as a CQ, you know, kind of CE. It's not bad to bring into bosses. Extra NP gain arts and stars is fine, but you're probably going to bring something else, let's be honest. Now, let's talk about the raid over here. Here is the Barbados raid, and this is what I meant by her being really beefy. 35 million kills. That's getting into the Koyanskaya raid levels of beefy. Like, this guy's gonna be around for a while, but he actually might not last as long as Koyanskaya, because even though they both have a massive amount of kills, they have a ton of lives. Look at how weak this guy is. He's only 500k, and you know, Koyanskaya, you wanted to do like a 3-turn clear because you wanted to get all the drops, and she herself was super beefy. This guy, not all that strong. You should have an easy time kind of blowing him up, but you also have to deal with the annoying RNG of the battle where, say you're going to bring a Buster DPS, well, you actually just get a permanent, you know, Buster 50% down. That's going to be a little bit annoying. So, you know, you have the chance of, you know, if you're going to be using a quick, you have a 1 in 5 chance of really getting screwed here, but aside from that, you should be fine. I can see some people maybe not going as hard, especially because, yeah, there are bones and dust in here, but we're also going to be getting bones and dust and the different lottos that we get this year. And, you know, I can understand holding on to, say, some of your gold apples and waiting for March when we should be getting the Battle in New York lotto, but if you do want to go hard on this, I mean, the drops aren't bad. You know, it's Barbados. It's the guy known for giving really good drops. You don't get a ton of QP, but you know, it might be nice to just spend your daily AP here, maybe throw a couple of apples at this and make sure that you are hitting this as opposed to, say, the free quest nodes, because it's nice. One of the things that is notable, though, is it's not dropping the event currency, so it's not like, say, the most recent raids that we got over on the JP version of the game where you could farm the raids and also get the, you know, shop currency, so you could clear the shop and farm the raids. So do also keep that in mind. Very good for drops, but you're not really progressing the event shop, so just keep that one in mind. We also have these extra quests over here. None of these seem to be all that hard, and I don't remember any of them being super difficult. You could just view them as free Saint Quartz. Some of them, there's a battle, but look at this. Like, especially as we start moving down, no battle. Like, this is just you farming free Saint Quartz. Nothing really here stands out as, like, all that difficult. As you can see, like, yeah, there's a lot of guys, but not a whole lot of threatening action going on here. You do get your servant coins for Gray over here, so you know, make sure you're also completing those for that. Then I guess we're kind of just into some of the free-to-play stuff. We already went over the CE. We have the Da Vinci command code that's coming back, and I do like this one. This one, it can be very nice if you're going to be going into farming nodes. You know, you slap this on, I don't know, let's say your Edmond Dantes. You see that you have this on one of your quick cards. You fire this before your NP, boom, you know, you're getting a little bit of extra damage, you're getting a little bit of extra overkill. You're doing, you know, just generally a little bit better. You know, you find your command card that has this, it's just kind of good. Slap it right before you fire your NP, and you're literally chilling. Like, it's just a nice one that you can put on any DPS, any farmer, whatever you want to slap it on, it's going to be great for them. Then we have the 4-star one over here that gives you a little bit of a power mod against undead enemies. If you want to just slap this on your Gray to make her a little bit better with that undead power mod over here, can I show it? It is, yeah, right. It's actually literally right there. I'm staring at it. She has the power mod against undead, so if you want to slap this on one of her cards, by all means, it'll make her a little bit better. But other than that, if you have another undead power mod guy that you want to put this on, you know, I'm not going to fault you for it. And then there's a 3-star. This is just nice. It's free Buster crit damage. I mean, literally slap it on a Buster card to get 50% crit damage. Put it on any DPS that's going to be doing crits. You know, throw it on your Gil, throw it on your Melusine, because technically she could be a buster unit, right? Slap it on whoever you want to have them do just a little bit harder crits on their buster cards. And then finally there's Gray. I saw a couple people in my stream on Monday asking if Gray was worth going after and, prioritizing as a free-to-play. For one, she gets double EXP during the event, so she's really easy to level. And two, if you're a free-to-play or newer account, she can definitely help you out a ton. Her skills are just very good. The attack is nice, and even if you're not getting the undead power mod, she can still do some pretty decent damage as a free-to-play NP5, and she's just got good stuff going on here. Sure, the one-turn quicken buster is a little bit annoying for burst damage, but at the very least, you're still rocking the attack buff. You're still getting the power mods from Koyan Sky, because again, she is a buster NP, so even though it looks like you would use her with Scotty, for some reason, you wouldn't, I mean, Ruler Scotty, I suppose, but keep in mind that Koyan Sky is going to be giving you like the man, the humanoid, the buster buff, all this good stuff that will still make your Gray able to do damage when she doesn't have this. So just use it for, when you're wanting to fire your NP going into like a boss or something along those lines. And then, also getting the NP battery, right? Like the 20% is kind of nice. And I guess they saw that this was kind of a problem, so they fixed it up over here by giving her an extra 10%. So technically, she has a 30% battery if you fire the NP, but you're going to be buster looping with her? Not really. I don't really foresee anybody really using her for that, but if you're going to bring her to more difficult content, the Pierce Invul built into the NP that has been upgraded and is a free NP5 is very strong, and even outside of the second skill losing damage, you still stack this on the enemy, and with someone like Koyan Skya, giving you big fat batteries and getting your cooldown back, getting the 10% back on this, plus the 30% on the third skill over here can just be very nice to get a couple of NPs back to back and really do some damage that the enemy really can't protect themselves from because, again, Pierce invincibility. But that's pretty much it for the El Malloy Case Files event. I mean, I thought I was able to move through this a little quickly and concisely, but the worst thing about it is that it's like a 20-day long event. We're going to be sitting here for quite a while, but don't worry. If you get a little bit bored of Case Files, you can hop over to the Chad JP version of the game where we're going to be getting the Samurai Remnant banner, which, if you want to stay informed, make sure you like and subscribe. I'm definitely going to be covering that event when it comes out. I'm super gassed for the Remnant collab, but over here on the NA version of the game, just a nice kind of chill event. Maybe you can go a little hard on the raids, maybe, I mean, obviously, you have like game press and all these things that'll give you the exact guide on how to do the missions. I could read that out, but I know what you guys are going to do. You're just going to go to a game press article and just be like, okay, where can I find all these things exactly? So, just kind of go at this casually. I mean, you literally could do this with your natural AP refunding. You don't have to waste any apples because, understandably, you could use this for Lotto in about 2 months from now. So it's just going to be a nice little fun time over here on NA. The story is all right. I enjoy it well enough. I mean, it's just one of those like FGO stories that I'm like, all right, that was a fun, enjoyable read. It wasn't as unhinged as Tugunskull, I'll at least say. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below if you're going to be summoning. Best of luck. Although, unfortunately, while I do think Reigns is very cool, that's going on raid up. It's a very stiff competition against Koyan Light over there. But if you're going for Reigns, let me know how it goes. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace, late guys.